Good morning. It is spring. It has sprung and the mornings are still a bit crisp. So it is my favorite time to come out and start doing my yard reset. Just getting my yards back into shape, pulling the weeds, spraying for weeds, cutting down any of the bushes, and just really getting them ready so they can grow lush and beautiful over the summer. And we can enjoy the backyard while the girls swim and Allie has her friends over. And so today I thought I'd bring you along with me as I start on it. I've done a few things off camera already, like spraying for weeds and pulling them. There was a couple rainy days that were coming, and so I wanted to get the yards good and sprayed before the rain came to try and prevent more weeds from growing, and it worked. And so yeah, now it's just kind of about dialing it in and doing a couple of the projects that I put off for this year. And I want to get them done before the heat of the summer hits. So come on and come do some yard work with me this morning while it's nice and cool and peaceful. You can hear the birds. That's why it's my favorite time of day. Let's go enjoy the morning. So this was my planter last year. These were tomatoes, believe it or not, that I grew out of neglect. I wasn't having much success with them, or so I thought, and so I had kind of abandoned ship and just walked away from them. And then 4 weeks later, I come back to the side of the house and I see this, and I ended up getting 3 full harvests of tomatoes. I had so many different blends and brands and types of tomatoes going on. And I tell you, I was so pleasantly surprised. And this was actually the last harvest where I was making homemade tomato soup for the girls. And I tell you, homemade tomato soup from fresh grown tomatoes, there is nothing like it. Just look at that basket full of homegrown tomatoes. So we are starting from scratch here, and yeah, I'm going with a salsa garden again, and I am going to put a drip line in this planter as well because I really didn't have enough water using the existing lines that I already had. So I'm starting off by just planting, I want to say 3 different tomatoes. And then I had another plant that was growing that I don't know where it came from. But yeah, and now that I've got them planted, I'm going to go ahead and water them down just to get them good and hydrated and used to their new home for the summer. Last year, the problem I ran into when I was redoing the backyard was I had bought a bunch of these pots from Tractor Supply store just because I loved the look of the whiskey barrel wood pots with the metal strap. And I bought some stands and I alternated them because I wanted the height difference throughout the yard. And I just really thought that it would add a fun rustic look. But the problem with that is that I had to water by hand. And that was just frustrating because when I'd go out of town or something, those pots were not getting watered. And so out where I live, it is super hot. And so a week with no watering would kill the majority of my plants. And so I didn't see a lot of success with my plants. And so I am going to change it up. So I have a lot of these risers and sprinklers from the way it was landscaped before that I have shut off. And because I want to keep my pots, I decided that I'm going to add a drip line. to it, and I'm gonna try and disguise it as best I can. A lot of them are under the pots. Some of them are not, and I don't want to move them. I'm not gonna do that undertaking right now. I just kind of want to remedy the problem of not having water in my pots. And so I think I can do that by using a drip system and tapping off the existing lines that I have. And so that's what I'm gonna do. And so you can see here, like I've got a line right there and a pot, but no water goes to that pot. So I am going to tap into that line there and make it work for me. I had a fun trip to Lowe's today, getting all the stuff that I need, and it's gonna cost me about, it cost me about $150, but I probably overbought, and so whatever I don't use, I will return. I just overbought because I don't want to have to make multiple trips to Lowe's. And since I can return it, if it's unopened, that's what we're gonna do. I've got this drip line tap off for 1/2-inch sprinkler risers, which this is a 1/2-inch sprinkler riser. So I'm gonna attach this to the riser, but I'm gonna shorten the riser, and I'm gonna remove the bubbler. I don't need the bubbler. I'm not gonna throw it away, although you can turn these off. I'm just gonna cap it off for now because I don't think I'm gonna need it. And I'm gonna cut down my riser because I don't need it this tall. There we go. And this here is just gonna go on the riser. But first I'm gonna get my tubing, which is here, and it attaches here. Now, I decided to go this route in case I need to tap off the top for any reason. I didn't want to have to redo it. Then I've got my cap here to cap off the top. And then I'm gonna attach it here. Then I picked up these rain drip bubbler stakes. This just seemed like the easiest. I want to say it was like $3.78 for a 10-pack. And so I'm going to measure how long I need my tubing to be. There we go. And on this end, it attaches to the stake. And then you can stick the stake right inside the pot. When I manually turned it on, you can see that there's some water going out. So just by opening it up, we've now got water going to the plant. There we go. Now this is gonna get watered every day, and it's gonna be a happy camper, and I don't have to hand water it. And I don't really mind that the tubing shows. It's not gonna bother me. The convenience of having it watered is kind of where I'm at right now. Like, I love that. So for this pot here, I'm gonna tap off of this bubbler sprinkler here, but I still want to keep it as a bubbler because it's watering this plant. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this bubbler. I'm gonna replace it with this. But before I do that, I want to add go. And I'm going to go ahead I am going to add a stake. There we go. And there we go. I am happy now. And we've got water ready for a plant. Okay, so for this one, I want to have two sprinklers in this one, two drip lines. So I'm going to put one there and one there. Now, I could go off of two different sprinklers if I want. But I think I'm just gonna go with one line for this. And I'm gonna tap off of this one over here. The most expensive part was these. These were $2.78 a piece. That was the most expensive part. Okay, so with this, I'm gonna start off with one line. This line is gonna go right along here. And then it's gonna split. It'll split right there. We need this piece. This is like a T that is going to let us tap off of this line. These two can go in like that. Look at that. Perfect. And here's the end result. This is what it looks like from tapping in over there. I ran the line under the rocks, came up, and now I've got two lines. And I've got some sunflowers in there. I think that that'll be fun to see sunflowers growing in there. They're not the super tall ones. So for this, it had rocks in it, and I filled it with that organic soil, and I tapped into the line on this side and on this side, and I added a bunch of drip lines. And in this one, it is going to be zucchini and squash. The girls want to do summer squash and zucchini. And so yeah, that's how we tapped into this. And I have grown zucchini in this before, and this was perfect because it vines out so much and gets so big. So this was perfect for it. Alrighty. So it is good and fertilized and ready to go. Okay, so here we've got strawberries. Now, I don't know if planting them in these pots is the greatest thing, but I've got all these pots and I don't want to put flowers in them, so I'm going to try and we'll see what happens. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Yeah, and it's plant pollinators. I love that. So I don't mind the bees coming into my yard. These were from Sprouts, and they had a couple different ones, and these were the Ozark Beauty, and they just look so bright and vibrant. So we'll see what it gets us. We'll see, we'll see. You know, someone's gonna tell me I'm doing it wrong, but last year I grew tomatoes out of neglect, hundreds of them. So, you know, you just never know. There they are, they're growing already. I love that. Oh, just look at that, they're growing. I love it. Yay! I'm so excited. Yeah, I think there's plenty of dirt in there. Okay, and then we have raspberries. These are fall gold. Look at how gorgeous those look. Yeah, these were at Sprouts for 10 bucks, $9.99. And so, and it says full sun, which is right here. So that's perfect. Here we have blackberries. I even added a drip line to these pots here in the front. There was plumbing underneath. That's what I was covering the pot with, because the pipes come up, the PVC comes up out of the ground, and so I covered it with the pot. And I decided just to tap into it and add some water so my plants grow. Yay! I'm super happy. That's enough for it to grow. And I will show you, because my concrete, my stamped concrete is painted, I do take a broom and scrub it down with Dawn and clean it a couple times a year. This is a heat technology paint that's on it, and so there is a drastic difference in walking on this in the summertime where I live versus not having this heat technology paint on the concrete. When we didn't have this paint, the dogs would actually get blisters on their paw pads, and we would have to wear flip-flops all the way to the edge of the pool and then get in, because you just could not step on the concrete. And so now that I've put the heat technology, it is warm to touch, not hot, and it is amazing. It is night and day. And so because it is a lighter color, I do go through and scrub it a couple times a year, especially after winter, because when it rains, the dirt from the roof comes down and it leaves mud all along here, and it just doesn't hose off very easily. And so if I scrub it with Dawn, it brings it back to life again and makes it look clean, and we're ready to enjoy summer. And when I hose it off away from the pool. into the grass, and it actually kind of, with the chemicals that I use, helps kill the weeds that come up. I get weeds that are growing right in there, and it kind of helps kill them. And so yeah, just to keep it out of the pool and get it clean. So planters are officially done with drip lines, and I am so happy. I've got everything planted that I'm gonna plant for the season. Everything is in working order. There are no more weeds in the planters. I took a couple of the drip lines out because they were the ones that flooded. So I'm gonna let these dry out, these pots, for a couple days. And then I'll turn on the irrigation again and lower it down. So that way they're not getting overwatered. This here was another fun one that I didn't show you. It's a kiwi that I found at Sprouts. And so, yeah, I'm kind of excited about that. I mean, I figured for $10, if it works, okay. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. It needs full sun. And this area does get full sun after about 10 o'clock today. So I've got kiwi there. I've got regular raspberry, regular blackberry, the golden raspberry. I've got a fig tree. I don't know what berry this is, so we will see when it starts bearing fruit. I am super excited about that. Oh, that's gonna be so fun. And I have got my yellow summer squash, summer zucchini in here. Oh, and there's just so much room for it to vine and get bigger, so that is gonna be super fun. We've got the strawberries from Sprouts here. And I think, like, even though it's in a pot, I think that strawberries usually vine anyway, and so it can vine up over the pot, and I think it'll be okay. We're gonna try it. I mean, like I said, I grew tomatoes out of neglect, hundreds of them last year, so we're gonna see. And so yeah, all my pots are good and ready to go. Now these here were from one plant, and so were these, and they grow in bulbs, and I broke apart the bulb when I uprooted it out of the ground, and I separated it into the pots. And so these are just one tiny piece of it, and you can grow many of them. I don't know what the name of that plant is called, but yeah, you can see over here there's one that I did 2 years ago, and it's getting bigger. Yeah, the succulents there, the succulents there, and there. We've got one there, there. Yeah, and then this is the plant that grew from a small one that I transplanted. And so these are pretty resilient. They are. And so are these. This was from one that I pulled up out of the ground too. And so, yeah, it's gonna multiply. We've got a little bit of ground cover there. My doodle. I've got a succulent in that. And then over here in my bike, I've got an aloe vera succulent and a piece that fell off of one that I'm gonna grow from. And then this pretty one. And if this piece starts rooting, I'll put it back here. And then you'll want to stay tuned for this next project, because I am redoing that, and you can see why. Yeah, enough said. We need to do away with that. So yes, I am not going to do the grass until this tree is done shedding its flowers, dropping its flowers. And so, yeah. It's work smarter, not harder. The only thing I'm gonna do today is skim the pool, and then I'm done. My stamped concrete looks amazing. It's good and clean. A little bit of Zep and Dawn there. My windows are all hosed off and clean. Yay! Looks like my spa needs to be filled up, so I'll probably add some water to that. I wonder why the water line is so low. That's weird. But yeah, it is good to go and ready for summer. Until next time, stay happy, stay safe, stay healthy, but most of all, stay positive, please. Bye for now, everybody.